The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
On today's lineup, the Raiders lose another one, a tough one against the Miami Dolphins, moving to 0-3. And the Kansas City Chiefs move on up to 3-0 against the 49ers. The Buffalo Bills showed up with a good one against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota, losing a tough one. But don't forget, Detroit showed up last night against Tom Brady and the Patriots. But hey, today was NBA Media Day. Yes, LeBron finally talked to the media for the first time since joining the Lakers back in July. Go ahead and stay tuned because we also got a very special guest today on Lockdown Sports Collective TV.
All right, good evening. Welcome to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator. I'm Ferran, a.k.a. WDC. I want to thank you for tuning and listening today. Look at that hair, though. Hey. Look at that hair.
Shout out to
my
Farouk
goodness.
Across the street, you know.
You don't want to give no shout out to Farouk. You look like a muffin top right there.
You done messed up my whole intro, yo.
You got some pomade
All right,
for that?
start over.
We got some pomade.
Let me see.
Yeah, where's your Rams hat? This is when you go back to the hat.
I don't need a rep every week. I'm looking for the
Wow.
for that
Did you
Raider
see
gear,
that
though.
hair?
Oh, you got Raider gear?
Yeah, you got. All right, so as you can tell, I'm not here alone. We always here every Monday at 5 p.m.
Go into that close-up,
yeah, get it. Don't do the close-up. No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta be away from it.
I'm just kidding. Every Monday at 5 p.m. right here on MorrisMediaLive.com. You can check Sports Collective Media. Make sure you go to our social media. Hashtag Sports Collective Media. You'll find all the up and coming episode information. Shouts out to Fredo for that intro. Man, you're killing the game, man.
Hey, man, gotta do it. Gotta do what LeBron's gonna do this year.
Oh. Wait. Hold on.
Got him.
Or the
20-second
Rams,
timeout.
20-second timeout.
20-second timeout. Introduce yourself, man.
What the Raiders were going to do this year.
Oh, another one. Shots fired.
I don't want to help you get this haircut. And now you want to clown the Raiders? Come on. He just said he wanted some Raider gear. Like
what?
He said I'd meet you outside. You got some Raider gear?
No,
in your
where's
car?
your Raider gear? That's
Where's
what I
my
wanted.
Raider gear?
Yeah.
They lost.
Still in the closet till next week.
That's going to stay there for a
Bring them
while.
out like Tuesday. You know
Those
what I'm
jerseys
saying?
are going to get dusty pretty quick.
Oh, man.
Are you done?
But yeah, my name's Al. Go check out Al Pasquale on Facebook. We got the alert coming later on in the show today. We also got some great NFL topics, some wonderful guests as well.
Some
so,
barbershop tips as well.
Yes.
Hey, let me hook you with my barber.
Right.
All right?
Okay. I got you, Fredo. If you want to dive in, give us a call at 323-293-3375.
For sure.
Anytime.
Close up time.
That's all you.
I'm so disappointed.
Why?
Look, he went from wearing a hat since the 8th grade, right? So we like, okay, we're going to graduate out the hat. We're going to get him a haircut. We give him one of the best barbers in town.
In town.
Did a
Right.
good job. What do you mean?
We need to get
When's
you
the
some
last time you been there?
pomade. You got to go back. You need
3
to
weeks
go
ago,
back.
man.
3 weeks ago ain't good enough.
Okay.
All right, well.
Shout out to Farouk.
Another shout out.
Give him some.
No, I'll make sure.
You finna go where the Latinos go. You might get a different
There
cut.
it is. You gotta get shined up over there.
You go get a different cut.
Okay.
But that's Cali Sportsman in the house, Ilya Daily, AskIlya.com. Oh, man, I'm here with the goons. You know, they always want to talk bad on my Raiders, but it's all good.
It's a rough start.
But no, Fredo, check us out on our social media pieces. You know, we got a great community awareness piece special today.
Definitely.
Got
Special
some people in the
edition.
house that basically makes an impact in the community.
Yeah.
And that's what we do here. We want to
what
be
we're
able
about.
to, sickle cell. Have you been on your little tour? How's that
Yeah,
been
man.
going?
The little tour has actually been a great tour, man. I went from FAMU to Jackson State. Coming up next month, we're going to Prairie View.
Then you go
in
to
Texas.
Vegas, too? That
And
wasn't
I was
part of-
just in Vegas like a couple of days
You're in
ago for a
Mississippi.
sickle
man.
cell walk.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I've been all over the place, man.
Bro, you everywhere.
Hey,
What
When
about
you
the
fly
next two
Spirit,
destinations?
it
Where
don't
you
cost that much to go all these places. You know what I'm saying? You just bringing lunch, and that's it.
I learned how to pack light. I learned how to pack light.
It's not done yet. You got a few more stops coming, right?
Yeah, well, for this month, I'm pretty much done. Actually, I got a show coming up on Thursday here on Morris Media. We'll talk about that later, but then not till...
No, but that's a good one.
That's
Just
a
go
good
and
one.
hit it right
So
quick.
just hit it 3:30 on Thursday the 27th. We're doing an hour of sickle cell awareness. It's our sickle cell awareness month, September. So I was blessed to have an hour episode. So I got a lot of people coming, calling in, dealing with sickle cell trait, sickle cell disease. Got some doctors, nurses coming. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's I enjoyed my new life after the military, man.
There you go. Check that out on MorrisMediaStudiosLive.com.
And I just got to give a shout out. I just got back from the Bay Area, and as you know, we fed the homeless in the Bay Area for 37 years. They put a statue downtown Oakland of my grandmother, and so we're going to be looking to continue to help that legacy and that epidemic
who's
of
next?
homelessness. And
Who's next?
And then shout out to just True Elite Performance, which is our college preparation program. So we do a lot of things. You know, we've created a lot of connections with the LABC League, the Drew League. Zona Zealots in the building. You know what I'm saying? She's opened a lot of doors up for us. So we just want to continue to be community driven. But I got my boy who get haircut somewhere else.
Man.
That's right. Well, hey, my name is Fredo Cervantes, and I am the truth, and I give you nothing but the truth. And today, of course, every
We
time
get the
there's
truth
always
about your
something.
Vikings.
I told you, the truth about the Vikings. I do. I mean, it was very disappointing, but hey, right? Hey, Primo Cousins. Some stuff happened, but hey, we'll get into that afterwards. But hey,
For
bro,
real.
what do we got right now?
Man, so let's take this first break. We're going to get Lola Davis up here and do a quick interview, special edition Sports Collective Media for our community. So let's take this first, and we'll be right back. So shout us out. What's the count?
I heard something.
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
Hey, I'm Sergeant First Class Ferran Dozier. I'm here at the military base, and I have the sickle cell trait. Now, why I got involved is I experienced what they call sickle cell trait exertion. And I was doing the Army physical fitness test, a 2-mile run, and when I got done, I collapsed. A lot of soldiers and athletes have been dying at football fields and running track, and the family members have no idea that they have the sickle cell trait gene or that it's a trigger. So my purpose is to mobilize the community so we can find out what's in your genes. How will life be if we could prevent another child from being born with sickle cell trait or disease? And if a child was born with the trait or disease, that the family members would have the education, awareness, and resources in every city that they lived in. So tune into our webinar series and find out what's the count.
What's the count? What's the count? What's the count?
All right, again, good evening. Welcome to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host. I'm A.K. Fron, A.K. WDC. And again, this is a special edition of our Sports Collective Media. You know, we do a lot of community pieces, and so we have here today, in person from Carson, Councilwoman Lula Davis Holmes. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing great. We're doing great. We want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule
Yes, thank you
and
for
coming
coming.
here to sit with us for a few minutes and talk about your campaign. So introduce yourself for the listeners so they can kind of get to know who you are, a little bit of background.
Well, first of all, I'm from the great city of Carson.
Ooh.
Great. I've been on the city council since 2007. I'm a resident of the city of Carson, and I always tell people I live, work, and play in the city of Carson. And I'm just excited to be here
Thank
with
you.
you. This is a new show. I'm excited about Mrs. Morris when I come and see Women in Charge. I love it. I love it. Women in Charge, because we make things happen.
Where's my high five on that one?
See, there you go.
Well, you know.
So they say that Carson is the next big city. What's going on in Carson?
It's a lot going on in Carson, and I want to say personally, I thank the Chargers and the Raiders. They first piqued everyone's interest in the city of Carson when we lost the football stadium to Inglewood. But thank you, because we're the best kept secret in the South Bay. Freeway close to every venue, and from their interest, we have many developers coming to the city. Excited about the fact that we just signed a deal to develop the 169 acres. It's going to be the mega mall, and I've always said we're just one development from being the destination city that we were deemed to be. So we're excited about that. We should see some dirt moving in the next week, and I'll be even more excited when we start going vertical.
Was that where where you were proposing to build a stadium and stuff? Or?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so it's good to see that you already moved past that and you're already looking to do other things for the city.
Well, I always understood that everyone understood that I wanted them all there.
Okay.
Because it keeps me from driving to Camarillo.
That was in the outlet mall?
To the outlet mall. Girl.
I don't want to drive to Camarillo. I'm excited about this.
You're a South Bay girl, too.
I'm South Bay, and you know what? When I think of Carson, I always think of IKEA.
Oh, yeah. That's like
And
the
then there's
biggest landmark.
But the racetrack, right? There's a racetrack over there.
The Porsche Center.
My husband is dying to drive cars on that track.
He should go. It's an experience.
I don't think people know about it.
Well, they're getting more familiar with it. It's a nice restaurant there. Matter of fact, I'll be there for lunch tomorrow. But it's an awesome venue. You just must go and visit. Anytime someone comes to Carson, I take them to the Porsche Center. But in 2020, I'll be taking them to our new outlet.
Oh,
Oh, you will?
So what else is going to be there? Like I know there's stores. I know the outlets in Ontario. They have a lot of restaurants as well.
Yeah.
Lots
Food
of
court.
restaurants, food courts. We're going to have probably a hotel there. And just on the north side of it, we're building market rate condominiums. So it's going to be a city within a city and everything, a theater, talking about another movie theater.
Yeah.
So a lot of awesome things, and the shopping was going to be phenomenal. We want top rated stores to come in, not I won't say it, but
We're talking Coach, Tory Burch,
St. John's.
St. John's. Wow.
All those kind
All
of
right.
stores.
So we're going to get right into it, right? So you're in the process of doing your campaign to be reelected as a councilwoman, right?
Yes.
So you've got a list of promises made, promises kept. We're going to talk about a couple of those, if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right. So I guess one of the top ones that California has been able to have the marijuana location dispensaries. So what is your conversation on that part?
My conversation is don't do it. I was outvoted to allow marijuana cultivation sites and manufacturing and mobile dispensaries in the city of Carson, which I'm totally against. So, you have to put your money where your mouth is. And even though the vote was 3-2 not to allow it, there's always another option. And some people don't realize that there are options, but those options take time, energy, and money. And this issue was so important to me that I did mobilize my community, raise the money to have an attorney to pay for the drafting of this ordinance to overturn the city council to vote. And in September, I turned in 7,000 signatures to say we're in opposition. I put my money where my mouth is.
There you
Yes,
go.
you do.
And that's what we want from our politicians, right?
Absolutely. This is something that I think is detrimental to our young people. Our young politicians didn't have any idea of how they were going to control it or regulate it.
Exactly.
And I'm just concerned that we're going to lose another generation of young people that think that this is the greatest thing, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not, because we have to come up with some rules and regulations, and we are the only city, Carson, in the South Bay that allowed this. Did some study. The tolerance level went from 0 to 0.5, and when it came down to Carson, we were at a 0.24. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I live, work, and play in the city, so I'm not for it. It may be something that, other cities are approving it, but when Compton said no, Rancho Palos Verdes says no.
Manhattan Beach said no?
Manhattan Beach said no.
They won't even take birds.
They
no
won't
birds.
take anything. Why Carson?
Yeah.
And so that is what I call Carson, my Beverly Hills of the South Bay, so I treat it as such.
And this is under your public safety accomplishments. And I imagine this one is also important too, the City of Carson Park Enforcement Team. What is that?
We're one of the only cities in the state. I was a park director when this program came about. There was a young man that came on the park, and he was shooting, and my little T-ballers were playing.
Wow.
And one of the fathers apprehended him, but the father was shot in the back, and he was paralyzed. And so my thing is that our parks are for people and
right.
to be safe. So what we did, we contracted with the sheriff department to hire, at that time, 6 armed deputies and a captain to make sure that when you go to our parks that you know you're safe. It has worked. It's been in force for over 10 years, about 12 years now. And it's something I'm very proud of, because I believe that you have to have a presence.
Yeah.
And to make it known that you're not going to take our parks back. This is not your territory. This is not your turf. And so, therefore, we run one of the best programs in the South Bay area. And it's known for its parks and recreation programs.
Right.
Wow. Now, quality of life issues, I relate that to my conversation, and we talked about it outside with sickle cell.
Mm-hmm.
With my community advocating for that and talking about a cure. They're looking for a cure. But, however, I think about your quality of life, that if you just present to today and what you can manage today, let them figure out the cure. But if you worry about so far in the future about a cure, then anxiety, all this, other life experiences start to take place, right? What do you, about sickle cell, what do you...
It affects the Black African-American community, and I'm exposed to that right now because I just had one of my young babies, is what I called her. She just received a sickle cell transplant from the City of Hope.
Yeah.
And, she is about 22 years old, could not find a donor. They had tested her immediate family, but I always say, ask for it and you'll receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And ask our King, ask our Maker. And her mother was denied, said that she did not match.
Yeah.
And when 2 or 3 agree, something positive will happen. Her mother was retested. Guess what?
Wow.
3 months ago, she was a match.
Wow.
Okay, she had been tested when that child was a young baby.
Right.
And she had lived through this for years and fighting and having terrible experiences, because if you know sickle cell, that it weakens you and it causes different anxieties.
Oh, yeah.
And thank God I had her before the city council, the first meeting in September, to say, look what God can do.
Right.
Look what God can do. And she's a living testimony.
Definitely.
And her mother is a testimony.
Right.
That this too can happen. And she's doing quite well. She's home. She's had the transplant.
Yeah.
Mother's back at work. And I'm just so thankful that I'm a part of her life, and that I want to do even more. As I mentioned to her mother, next year I want to do a sickle cell awareness month-long celebration.
Definitely.
To educate people on the importance of being tested and how this disease affects African Americans specifically.
Yeah.
And that there is life.
Thank you.
There is life.
And the high schools in Carson, are they being tested right now?
I don't think so. There has not been a big push.
Yeah, with newborn screening. So when children are born,
newborn
newborn screening is where those tests are done. But if you're 30 years old or plus, you may not have been screened. So
I see.
there's a generation that didn't get screened.
So there was something that caught
go
my
ahead.
eye.
Yeah.
I always love politicians that are advocating and looking to protect the environment. So I saw that you fought to prevent new drillings of oils in the city of Carson.
which you see all over Baldwin Hills, right? Those things up and
right.
down. We used to call them horses.
Right, and so that's something that I always look for is having politicians that are there protecting the environment, making sure that it's a healthy environment for us to live in. And I also saw that you were supporting a passage to prevent that from being too close to homes.
Yes. Oxy came to our city and came with one of those glossy magazines, and a nice little oil package, and just said, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be great for the community. But all money is not good money.
No. Right.
And I believe that, and I practice that. And I just happened to be sitting at home looking at that little glossy brochure, and something said, there's some fine print down there. And I said, oh, my God. I said, this says fracking.
Right.
Oh, great. Fracking in Carson. That would have been awesome.
Fracking in Carson. Right next, close to homes.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Immediately called a meeting with them. They said I set them up, and I got
You took them to the Porsche Center.
I called my volunteers, some of my captains that I call in the field, and I said, I need you to come and meet with me in Oxy. And from that moment on, there was a fight. And, I don't fight traditionally because it is something that important. I don't say, I need some help from you. Okay? Right. You put me in this position, now you tell me what to do.
Right.
And they were moving forward. And I said, okay, Lord, now you told me you was going to take care of this.
Yeah.
So I sit there and I watch the oil prices. They were at $85 a barrel. The next week they were at $65 a barrel.
Uh-oh.
The next week they were at $45 a barrel.
Wow. God, they dropped $40.
$45. Yeah. I got a call from Oxy saying we're pulling out.
Wow.
It's not cost effective for us to drill
Boom.
these 200 oil wells.
Wow.
And so that's what happened. We fought, we petitioned, we mobilized. But, once you do all that and you're dealing with this big elephant in the room, it's sometimes you just got to say, okay, now who's going to help me?
Yeah.
And that's what happened with the oil industry. We protested, did everything, had meetings, but when the oil prices started dropping,
right,
it was not cost effective to drill in Carson. So
wow,
that was a battle.
I got two more for you before we let you go. So this one is important, and we talking about minimum the wages. There's information out there that people that make minimum wage can't even afford an apartment or to live. So what is your conversation about this minimum wage?
My conversation is this. Everyone deserves the right to have a salary, hourly rate that they can live on. And, it helps to prevent homelessness. It helps to keep our residents in a quality of life situation. And I have been a champion for low-income housing for the residents in the city of Carson. I'm proud of the fact that one of my things to do that I wanted to accomplish before I left the city council was to open up a veterans housing.
That was my last one, so that's near and dear. That's right. That's near and dear. When you realize you got a voice in a lot of different conversations, as me being a retired Army veteran, what is this 50 for a unit? What is going on?
It's just for veterans that need a place to live. The first people that will be able to take out an application will be our veterans. It's only 54 units, but I think it's something that all cities should be doing.
Definitely.
I've said to my congresswoman when she was in Congress, shame us, United States of America, for having our veterans to come home and don't have anywhere to live. Right. Shame on us.
Yeah.
Right. We owe it to every veteran to have a home, and if you lose a limb, the government should give you a home. Right. Because you went and made the ultimate sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And to see our veterans on the street saying, give me a nickel, I am embarrassed for the government.
Right.
And so this was my little...
Man, that ain't little. That is not little.
That is huge.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is from the sports fan. Okay. What are we going to do about StubHub parking? Because every time I come,
what's up, Carson?
An hour and a half to get out.
Can we get a parking lot
to get out?
I love the stadium. I just can't walk it, and then to get out is the worst.
Oh my God, Oscar! I'm so glad you asked that question.
That's the sports fan in me
people don't talk about, but it is like when you go to see the Galaxy, and I do. I love the Galaxy.
Yes.
Like getting at if you're first in, they park you all the way in the front, which means you have to go all the way back to get out. And
you got to walk through campus, which I was a student. Like I would be like, man, all these people are constantly walking in there, and they're not being cleansed as they do it.
What do you got to say about that? To the sports fan.
That's what I have to say is I don't control the StubHub Center. It's on state property.
Take Uber.
Oh, okay.
It's on take Uber.
Not from Inglewood.
Well, drive halfway and take Uber. Let them drop you off.
That will work.
That'll work.
She got nothing over the StubHub.
So she just said, take it to the state.
Yeah,
take it to the state.
Take it to the state. It's ran by the same people that run the Staples Center.
Okay.
AEG.
Okay.
Thank you. AEG runs that, and we have no say-so over it. They're on state property. There's a mega development that's going up in there that we have to work with them on, but that has always been an issue for the city of Carson and the residents.
Right.
Because it's owned and controlled it's on state property.
Right.
They use our streets.
Right.
And they use our sheriff to direct you in and out, but we have no say-so.
I can just imagine a student coming out of the library after a game. It's the chaos. You're just trying to get back to your dorms, and you have all these drunk soccer fans just walking through your campus.
Are they drunks?
Probably. Like, God's is doing good.
All right, so baseball fan. What team can you say?
Well, I guess the LA Dodgers.
You guess.
I guess.
All right. NFL team.
How do you do it like that?
NFL team. Can you say?
It has to be the Chargers.
Right.
No.
Can you say?
Once again, it's on state property, so she don't have to be a fan.
That's right. It's on state property.
Who you watching on Sunday? Who you watch on Sundays?
With my husband, who would I watch on Sundays? You guys are couch potatoes on Sundays, so whatever's on, you watch.
What? So you're not a team? You're not
Who
a
you
fan
rooting
of a
for?
team?
Who you rooting for?
You know
you don't want to say?
Like, don't you?
No, you got to say it. Say it.
You know I'm in love with Brady.
He's on my fantasy
my
team.
God.
Last night, you weren't too in love with him last
Did
night.
you hear that sports log? Where's sports log?
So we're going to a commercial break.
Yeah, for real. Okay.
But for real, I've been a Raider fan all my life.
Okay.
So
All right.
I have, but
But you like Brady.
I'm in love with Brady.
All right.
Hold up. When did you switch
Pissed me off
over?
last night, man.
Tuck rule?
I just like him
Come
what
on.
he brings as a quarterback. You
Okay.
know, and
All
that's
right.
but I'm a Raider fan.
Okay, how about NBA?
Oh my.
Come on.
No, I'm not a Laker fan.
You a Clipper fan? You like the Clippers?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
You all the way up north?
Celtics?
Or you back east somewhere? You must be back east
Oh, you
somewhere,
guys
huh?
don't put me off?
No! in a minute, yeah.
But not because you're
In a minute, not because of your answer, though. Because we got to move on with the show.
No, I'm going to keep that to myself.
All right. We're going to take the bumper stickers on the car.
I don't have bumper stickers.
It's Cleveland.
All right, so
No,
what?
it's not Cleveland.
What do
It's
you?
going to be LA. Now the King is
See,
here.
your mic is off now.
Oh, it is? Turn his mic back off.
So, what do you want to say to our listeners and your supporters? What do you want to tell them?
What I want to say is how important it is to get out and vote. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Your vote is your voice, okay? And I think we need to take control of that White House again, but we have to do it step by step.
Yeah, got to start in your city.
You got to start in the city. I'm your local elected official. I'm the voice for the residents in the city of Carson. And I encourage everyone to get out and vote on November 6th.
Yes, and I'm so glad you bring that up because local elections, like everyone pays attention to the national elections, but when it comes to local ones, which affect us the most, people stop going, stop paying attention. And so I'm glad that you're someone that's advocating to get more people out there and voting.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for coming out and hanging out with us.
Politics is a sport.
It is a sport. You got to maneuver.
And since you don't want to talk about your basketball stuff, you got to go.
You gotta be able to
so
talk.
we're going to take.
LeBron, welcome to
Hey, no, LeBron, man, cut that part out. it's coming out now.
Okay.
Now it's coming out.
Okay.
I told you it was Cleveland.
This is Sports Collective Media.
More. She was
We
a
are
Cleveland fan.
done. She's out of here. Let's
She was
go.
a Miami fan,
Cut the
Cleveland fan,
camera.
now a Laker fan.
Cut the camera.
And military performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your health care. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh,
too,
man,
bro.
that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crisis.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that if both parents have sickle cell trait, there's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. All right, again, welcome back to Sports Selective TV. I'm your host and moderator, Farhan, aka WDC. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at IamWDC. And you've seen the PSAs for sickle cell trait, WDCONSCT.org. And if you are a trait carrier, you saw the CHAMP PSA, please make sure you reach out to that. I'm supporting that. I did the screening already, turning my blood work. So we need you to participate so we can figure out what's causing this sickle cell trait exertions in our athletes. Speaking of athletes, Shireen, take it away.
So I had the pleasure of meeting Gerald Jackson, Dr. Gerald Jackson, at his tryout. I took 4 or 5 guys I knew, players, and they tried out for his new ABA team.
Boom.
It's big news, the LA Smooth. He's got huge plans, and it's right there in Carson, right?
Yes, it is.
Boom, another Carson. So introduce yourself to the listeners for us.
First of all, hello, good afternoon. Good to be here. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, first and foremost. And we definitely want to do what we can to spread the word, give insight, knowledge, and information on who we are, what we do, and how we get it done. Carson is our home spot. Veteran Sports Complex is where we'll play our home games, and we're very excited about that. Have some huge plans that not only cover this year, our 2018-2019 season, but that will stretch all the way into our second and third year. And I'll be happy to share a little bit more insight.
So, real quick, give us some of your sports background.
I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version. I grew up in Inglewood, California.
Okay.
Graduated in 1900.
And
79.
I was only 9. You're good. I was 9. You're good.
I refer to it now as 1,000 centuries ago. The young athletes now doing what they do. But graduated from Inglewood in 1979, and then I actually moved to the West Coast via my naval commitment. I was in special operations. I was an advanced electronic technician aboard nuclear-powered submarines for 6 years, from 79 to 85, and played basketball while I was in the Navy. So that's where I kind of cut my chops.
Thank you for paving the way for me. I appreciate that.
Grazie. In high school, my focus was the books, track, and a little bit of football. And played basketball in the neighborhood, but that really didn't take full shape until after I went into the Navy. And at that point, things just kind of took off. It was a great way to get that workout time in and refine my skills. Played with some really, really good guys, great talented players, and wound up averaging about 30 points a night. Was first team all defense, and selected all Navy in the Southeast region where I played. And that kind of lit the fire. So, I mean, after I did that, I was ready to come back home and get into the free agent market as a pro player, and did that for 3 years, from 87, 88, 89. At that time, I played in what was called the NBA Summer Pro-Am. Now it's just called the NBA Summer League that plays in Vegas. But, 87, 88, 89 was the NBA Summer Pro-Am. And I got a little taste from the San Antonio Spurs. They brought about, I think it was maybe 10 of us actually from the Southern California region. And they told us when we came in, they said, we're taking 2 of you guys to camp with us. This is your opportunity to get invited to San Antonio Spurs camp. I did not make that cut, but I'll eternally be grateful to the San Antonio Spurs. They'll always have a place in my heart because they thought enough of my talents to give me that look.
Of course.
And so I always appreciate them. But from there, I started a business management consultant firm in 1986, G. Jackson & Associates, which I still have today. And we've done that pretty much focused on things like strategic planning, team building, which is now called coaching. We did peak performance coaching with corporations, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs. Interestingly enough, that's why it's been such a pleasure sitting here listening to the other guests, because so many things that you've touched on, our home arena, our facility is in Carson, California, and when you're talking about sickle cell, I actually used to sit on the board of the Sickle Cell Disease Research
Whoa! We got to talk offline.
Not enough time on.
Let's bring the best guests, right?
So what had you create this league, man? Like, what did you see that was missing?
It's a passion project as well, correct?
Yeah, a lot of history that goes into. Well, first, let me do a little housekeeping. I did not create the league. The ABA has been around since Dr. J and George Gervin and all those guys from the 60s and into the 70s. It went dormant. A gentleman by the name of Joe Newman was the co-founder of the ABA, the original ABA. And they merged, the ABA merged with the NBA in 1976. So it kind of went, it stayed around a little bit longer after that, but then it kind of went dormant. And then I want to say in 1999, 2000, somewhere in there, Joe Newman decided to reinvigorate the league. Started with 8 teams back then. So like 18 years later, last year, there was 120 teams across the nation.
Believe that? 120? I had no idea.
This year, there will be 150 teams, and the Los Angeles Smooth will be
and
one
you brought
of those
one.
teams. So, yeah, I bought the LA market and started the team. So, yeah, I didn't create it.
So, how is that structured? Like, having so many teams in the league?
There's divisions, right?
Once again, I'll try to give you the reason because I can go on and on about it. But to answer your question, how it's structured is I would say it's largely made up of players. Just about all the players in the ABA, for the most part, have played at least Division I basketball, so they can go. They can make it do what it does. However, there are older players in the ABA. So you have like 3 leagues. You have the Overseas Pro League, you have the NBA G League, and then you have the ABA Pro Basketball League. So how it's kind of structured for the most part, the ABA, the American Basketball Association, the players are typically 27 years old to about 39, 40. So it's two tiers. The players that are 27 to 30, 31, they're still trying to get in the league. They're young enough to where they're still trying to get overseas contracts or at least get to the G League so they can get a look in the NBA. The players that are, say, 31 to 39, 40, they've by this time they've got jobs, they have families, they have kids, so they're not trying to get to the league. They're not trying to go overseas. They got pains and aches.
Just a little bit.
They are really focused on staying home.
Right. But they want to ball.
They played high level basketball at an elite level, so they want to kind of
still
get
keep
that. Kind of
So
that's how it's made up. So your younger guys, they're playing because they want stats, they want film footage, so they can get picked up overseas or go to the G League. The older gentlemen just want to still play at that high level. So
shooting them threes all day.
That's
that you for us?
Me.
So the way those, as far as the number of teams, like this year to be 150, for the philosophy behind that is when you have players that are older, have families, kids, and jobs and whatnot, they typically want to stay close to home. They don't necessarily want to travel all over the place. So there's so many teams that most of them play regionally. So they play on the weekends, a Saturday or Sunday. So the players that have jobs, that's not an issue. They can still play on the weekends. They practice throughout the week. And then at the end of the season runs from like first week of November through about mid-March. And then there's like 8 divisions. And at the end of, or about midway through March, the teams in like we play in the Far West Division. So there is a divisional playoff. So there's like 20 teams in our division. So you have a ranking, and so you go through your hierarchy and play each other in the playoffs. Whoever wins the divisional championship, those 8 winners are invited to the ABA National Championship Tournament. And that happens like usually about a week after the NCAA tournament. They kind of run it consecutively. We do our playoffs, and then the NCAA championship is like the first week in April. The ABA championship is like that next weekend. So there's 8 teams that usually they're invited into the middle of the United States, like Texas, San Antonio area, so all the teams can equally travel. But the top 8 teams in the nation get together to play what's called the ABA National Championship Tournament. It's a grind, though, because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the 8 teams, all of them play Friday. The 4 winners advance to Saturday for the Final 4. The 2 winners advance to Sunday afternoon for the ABA Championship. So it's a grind. I liken it to those 3 games. It's kind of like playing the Oklahoma Thunder, and then you got to go play the
Golden State Warriors.
Not the Golden State. That would
Houston
be
Rockets.
Play the Houston Rockets, and then if you win, then you got to play the Golden, because it just the talent just keeps rising. The best of the best. They just keep going up. So every game is more challenging than the other. So it's a grind, but that's how it's set up.
And your plan is to make the LA Smooth one of those teams this year. Right?
Absolutely. Well, not this year. I have an ambitious plan. Trust me, I do. But for me, my vision is that the LA Smooth bring the ABA National Championship back to Southern California by our 3rd year. That's the goal. Now, if it happens sooner, we're not going to give the trophy back.
But you're drafting you're bringing some guys on that are hungry and have big heart. I can tell from the kind of players you're looking at.
Yeah, we were very fortunate to have guys in camp in our tryouts that are thoroughbreds, in the sense that I actually was going to put the Los Angeles Smooth into the league a year ago. And I just held up doing that because there was a few more pieces I wanted to put together for the team, the organizational structure of it. And so I just held up for a year of actually bringing the team into the market. So we're doing it this year. Our first game, we tip off November 10th at Veteran Sports Complex there in Carson. But in the interim time, last summer, I spent an inordinate amount of time at the Drew League, Saturday, Sunday. First of all, I know a lot of the coaches. I know a lot of the players that played back in my day that are coaching now. So, and just watching the young guys do their thing, I love basketball still to this day. Played at a high level, and I still love the game to this day. So it was easy for me to be in the gym. But I wound up spending a lot of time there last summer. So I got a chance to see some of the best players there. So this year, when we were getting ready to bring the team to fruition, we connected with some of those players in a more direct way. So I was able to get some of the best Drew League players out at our tryouts. And actually, standing right next to me, she was very instrumental in bringing some of the other marquee talent into the gym. So we wound up having just a phenomenal skill set in that gym, and so we've selected the team now. We'll actually start our first practice.
So you got the team straight.
And the coach, let's talk about the coach, because I was impressed with that. I've been to a lot of tryouts. I was at the Legends tryout. I've been at the Clippers tryout, AC Clippers tryout. But Coach Brian, he really ferreted out the guys that didn't know what was going on. Because
he's a phenomenal talent. That we were fortunate to connect with him in my search as the owner and general manager. Probably, I say a good 3 months I spent working to kind of define who the coach would be. We had an idea of who our coach would be last year, but then that spot kind of opened up in terms of what we were going to do this year. So I spent about 3 months trying to select, guys that we could talk to, interview, and I came across some information from Brian Ohringer, which is his name. Turns out that it was just a phenomenal find because he spent about the last 6 years in the Washington Wizards organization.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's high caliber.
Oh, wow.
Right, NBA,
Staff with
that might be 3-year chips coming. Huh?
It might be this year.
Oh, might be a chip coming soon.
Yeah, he's extremely knowledgeable, wonderful person. I mean, he's not only a good coach,
he's a good person.
He's a good person.
You can tell from the get-go.
So, and that, one of the things that I always like to say, and I told him up front, having that NBA pedigree, I said the ABA, and this is just me talking now. I don't know if anybody else in the ABA
will let you say it,
but this is just me talking. The ABA is a faith walk because sometimes some of the teams are maybe not as structured and fully fleshed out as they need to be. Maybe the management of the team is not running it quite as well. So every once in a while you have a forfeit of a game.
Yeah.
And you got your schedule laid out, and you got to figure out how to move forward with that. And so there's all that. It's not the NBA. It's not the NBA, but it's an extremely high quality league with.
Is it going to be fun to watch?
Well,
right.
Is it going to be fun to watch?
So some of the things that you're talking about is a cheer squad.
Yeah, our
entertainment.
LA,
talk a little bit about what people will experience when they come to an LA Smooth game.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that really is the reason for the season. That's really what I want to focus on and emphasize with my time is that on the mic is that we have a dance team that we're calling the Los Angeles Smooth Motion Team. It's our version of the Laker Girls.
Wow!
So you're going to have a tryout,
women,
right?
Yeah. We 16 women who will make up that squad, and we want to set an atmosphere of the games that will, when you walk through the door, Veteran Sports Complex on any Saturday evening at 6 p.m. when we tip off, what you'll see, and typically you want to get there like 5:15, 5:30, because what you're going to see, what you're going to experience is we have the Los Angeles Smooth, have a play-by-play announcer, we have a color commentator, we have a sideline reporter. About 9 years ago, I started a digital media entertainment company called River Eagle Media Group.
There you go.
We're going to have camera crews.
Sounds like us in the little...
we'll have our camera crews under both baskets and in the stands. So all that will be going on, plus our courtside seats. So it literally is going to have a feel of an NBA game when you walk in. It literally will have that kind of feel to it. Our tickets are just $10 for admission, general admission. Children 7 and under get in free. So we want to
right here in Carson.
Friendly. Right in Carson.
Oh yeah.
And if they need a break, there's a playground right outside.
That's going to be nice.
And then the other piece too, we have 2 direct connections, actually 3, to the city of Carson, which I was so glad to have a chance to chat with the councilwoman when she was here, because the first piece of that is that each night of our home games we're going to have a theme. So like we'll have a one night will be like our first night, November 10th. We'll tip off as Hoops for Troops. That game is going because Veterans Day weekend. So we're going to have like a kickoff game that every year, that first game of the year will be called Hoops for Troops. So we'll have our veterans. We're going to honor them at halftime. Do something real nice in that regard. Color Guard will be there to do.
Should honor Ferran.
I got a veteran friend that lives in Carson. In Carson.
We'll holler. So we're going to do that every night. We'll have a theme. We'll have community service night. We're going to have fan appreciation night, which is day and night, because in that afternoon we're going to do a huge barbecue for all the fans, and they can just come and enjoy. And then later that night we'll have the game. So every home game we're going to do that. We also have LA Smooth Fast Break Club, which is kind of for the adults. So they'll be able to enter drawings to get free dinner, travel with the team to one of the away games.
That's gonna be live.
We'll be in Chicago this year, and then.
So what are you doing in Chicago?
That's
Atlanta
live.
and Chicago. He's got some. It gets bigger.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to
big.
have you come back
You
and
gotta
talk
find
about.
out. Wait,
This
That's why
is
I'm trying to give you the Reader's Digest, because there's a lot going on.
What's your NBA team? Your team.
NBA team, I'm a hometown guy, so I have to go with those Lakers. But I'm like James Worthy's a pretty good friend of mine, and I know Magic, I know Irv, and Byron Scott. We came up in Inglewood together, so for me, it's just Kobe doing his thing for all the years he did. Big Shaq, we got a chance to hang out when he was here, so
all right.
I'm just with that home squad. But now that Bron is in town, we're hoping that they get on that run and challenge for those championships like they did going back. So that I say, San Antonio, I got a lot of love for San Antonio, but if I had to name a team, it would be the Lakers.
We got NFL coming up next, so what's your NFL team?
My boy, up in Seattle, my cat who was here at SC, coaching and whatnot.
Okay.
So,
Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll, that's my cat. So I got to give Seattle some love.
So we're going to go to NFL. We're going to take a break. We got the alert coming up. We got the truth. We're going to bring them up here, and we're going to talk some NFL.
And so how do you follow the Smooth now on Instagram?
You can either go to Instagram at GoLASmooth,
right.
Or you can actually go to the website where actually our IT guys are polishing that up, but you can go to LosAngelesSmooth.net. You can send a message there as well. Click on send a message if you need more information. That's probably the best way to do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or you can email. I want to get that in real quick at info@LosAngelesSmooth.net.
Cool deal. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're coming back with the NFL talk. We'll be right back.
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
Hey, suck last night.
For the moment you all been waiting for.
Yes.
On deck.
All right, so we've got the NFL. We're going to let the truth. You've seen the video clips. You saw the intro.
Props.
This past Sunday was off the chain for some of us. We played tonight. We played tonight. Steelers played tonight. Monday Night Football. We play tonight. Don't
The
worry about
$100 million
us.
contract looking pretty good.
Well,
What you
talking
got?
about you guys playing tonight, let me just give you a little update because
Yeah,
the game
what
did
does it say?
start.
What does it
so
say?
right now we're at the end of the first quarter, towards the end.
Yeah.
Tampa 7, Pittsburgh 6.
How about that Fitz magic?
1 point game, not bad.
That's not bad. We're still early.
Yeah, well, talking about the Steelers, I tagged you on something yesterday over the weekend. I'm not sure if you guys saw.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Steelers are now taking phone calls for Le'Veon Bell to trade.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to go somewhere else.
But there's a report out there that the Jets are very pushy for Bell. So if you combine, USC, Jets with USC quarterback
But you
there.
the truth, right?
Yeah, I'm the truth. So you want me to tell you the truth?
But you the truth, right?
Yeah, yes,
so
of course.
What's the truth feel about Kaepernick getting these calls of teams
All
that's
of a
like the
sudden.
Raiders might be interested in.
All of a
Look,
sudden.
let me.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
I know
since-
Greg Bailey, he don't know that.
No. Since Gruden came out of retirement because he loved Derek Carr so much, now he's thinking about maybe getting Kaepernick. Seems like
I don't know how
that
worse
plan
he could go. If I was the Raiders,
well.
of course, I stick with Carr. But because I mean,
Since you came out of retirement, and
yeah, but you
everything,
don't want to
know.
go to a quarterback who is looking for a job who was 3-16 starting 3-16. That is very that is very bad though. You have a 3-16 start in the NFL.
He has a better shot being a civil advocate than you.
Yes.
Hey, Kaepernick, come talk to me, man. We can advocate all day, baby.
You know what I'm saying? I think he lost a couple of abs at a couple of them black dinners he went to. You know they serving fried chicken. You know?
And then he never really was accurate with his ball throwing.
Come on.
I felt that way because he was a 49er.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Anything?
You know, I'm still kind of caught up in the whole business of how he did what he did and how it kind of got spun out of control.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not like that piece. My man was making a statement about what he was speaking about,
Right.
and it bothered me that some of the folks in the money realm
Of
it were
course.
trying to
Or in
spin
the
it
White
off a
House.
different
Yeah.
way. You know, or the
Spun
White
it.
House.
It's spun out of
Let's
control.
put it. I'm gonna tell you what God loves, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
The White House crew and the cat that's sitting behind the desk.
Yeah.
That kind of bothered me. So I was hoping that Cap would be able to kind of take that narrative back, but he let that one slip a little bit.
He let it go.
The cat in Philadelphia, I can't call his name, but I think it was Philadelphia. I think it was a cornerback.
Michael Vick?
Not Michael Vick.
No, you're talking about
It's a
cornerback from
quarterback.
Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
He was an advocate too.
Yes, sir. He had a great
Malcolm
voice.
Jenkins?
Great.
Malcolm Jenkins, that's right.
I love how my man kind of stepped up. So yeah, I was still they kind of blackballed Cap, but I think they also it's kind
Alert.
of punishing him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean,
New subject.
one of the hurdles for Cat is also any situation he's going to be involved in, he won't be able to escape that political image.
That's
is
not a
now
bad-
chasing
that's not a
him,
bad
you know,
thing.
which
What
isn't
you
a
got?
bad thing,
No.
but that is going to make certain
Hey,
teams
Cap,
want to
how do
think
I-
Yeah, real
twice
quick on
about.
Cap before
Let's
we
go.
move on for
Yeah.
Cap. I just think that guy does not deserve to play in the NFL. Plain and
He's
simple.
done. It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
He's an
but
activist.
no, he doesn't.
Take away a man's
He
job.
Hey, he's a Nike spokesperson now.
He's a Nike's guy
Hey,
now.
Nike.
My turn. Everybody counted out Foles. He got cut from 2 teams, and then he won the Super Bowl.
But
so
not,
stop
not
it.
because of him.
Stop
his
it.
defense.
With a
his
good
defense.
system.
But I
His
would- I would-
system.
No, it was
Yeah,
a
his
system.
All right,
system.
one at a time. One at a time.
And Kaepernick just did it on the wrong platform.
Okay.
That's just the wrong platform to do it. To do what he wanted to do and put his message out there. Just a wrong platform.
Is it the
And fire
perception
back.
of it? It's the perception of it, not the platform. It's the perception of what he's doing.
Yeah, the way he did it, but it's just very. To me, I just
New
thought about,
subject.
That was a new subject. We don't want to touch
New
it.
subject.
Is Matt Castle still on a roster? Because if he is, he should just give it up to Kaepernick.
New subject.
Hey, is Castle even on there?
New subject.
Hey, talking about Castle, that's Robert Lamar's quarterback in high school.
Let's talk about your Vikings. Let's talk about your Vikings.
Let's talk about my Vikings.
Tell us the truth.
Let me tell you the truth.
6
So,
points.
6 points. Yeah, it was a tough one. I mean, apparently over the week, this week was the week where rookie quarterbacks had it going. 3 quarterbacks this week
Rosen
had it
came
going.
in, right?
You had Rosen come in. You
Mayfield.
had Baker Mayfield take over on Thursday night against who was it? Against the Jets. Came back, and then you also had Josh Allen there. So it was a week of a rookie quarterbacks, as well as Patrick Mahomes. He's
So
been
Sam
doing it.
Darnold had a good week last week, but not
Yeah,
this
the first
right?
week, but I mean,
He had a payback second week.
Go ahead. I know. Yeah, as soon as I walked in, I'm gonna hold Oscar on this one real quick because I know what Oscar's gonna get into.
No, go ahead.
Don't be afraid.
I'm not gonna say much because the Rams are playing the Vikings this week. So I'm
Thursday night, baby.
But I will say, how does
And Peter.
No, Mark
arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL allow a rookie quarterback to hurdle a player?
And another defense that you guys were saying, specifically you as well, and your brother were saying that the Jacksonville Jaguars were a lot better. Jaguars lost. They gave up. They only scored 6 points as well. So the Jaguars, the 2 best defenses in the team, lost to 2 tough teams. So it could have been.
And that's why I say the Raiders are still in it. Beast mode.
Y'all gotta win games. Y'all gotta win.
Hey, he had a good touchdown.
Good point there.
last night.
Marshawn
Yeah,
Lynch
right.
mentioned beast mode. You
Nice
carried
jump.
the ball 19 times and you only rushed for 60 yards.
But you got to remember, he is
19
short.
times.
Average of 2
He's 2 to 3 yard runner. So that's what I'm saying. When you ain't got a good fullback to help him, you know what I'm saying? He can turn into a 6, 8, 10 yard run, but He's
He
been
said he's
every
one
yard
step away
counts.
from it.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, every yard does count.
You got to remember, the league now, they ain't really no explosive. I mean, you see what Adrian Peterson did this weekend.
Oh, wow.
But
He's
my
back.
point, it's not a lot of explosive backs no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They
Game's
actually
changing.
catching the ball in the flats now, and
Yeah.
then they got to run
That's my
with
play
it.
on PS.
Yeah, so
No, but he made a good point about how once Lynch gets to that second level, it's hard for cornerbacks, even linebackers, to bring him down. So if he's getting through that D line, he's going to make damage.
I mean, they just want to use him to punch it in most of the time.
We're talking
so-
about the Raiders, but go ahead.
All right,
Oh,
so
no.
we got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes. So
Go ahead, Allard. Also, touch on the Rams. What happened with the Rams?
Yeah.
The Chargers and the Rams was a very good, interesting game. I thought it was a
Yeah,
blowout.
I
but
mean,
they won.
picked up in the second
That's
half.
what happened. They won.
That's one. We got some injuries, which kind of sucks, but I feel like we can still move on.
But those are
pretty
key
confident with
injuries
it.
because you're on a
Definitely.
3-day break.
And Marcus Peters.
You're on a
as well. I
3-day
would
break.
both cornerbacks.
Yes, so you're on a 3-day break going against my Vikings, which they will be coming to LA.
And they'll be passing.
I mean, I still think we can.
Passing and passing. And
Hey,
more
we'll
passing.
see. It'll be an interesting game because if you guys are missing your two key defensive corners, that's going to be a tough one to go against.
I still think we can score more than 7 points.
And is Primo still at quarterback?
Yes, Primo.
Okay,
You guys are probably like, what the hell is Primo?
That's cousins in
That's
Spanish.
cousins in Spanish.
That's his cousin right there.
But I mean, it was a tough one.
Got some Spanish cousins.
yo hablo poquito español. Poquito.
Get out.
But let's circle back to today's game, which is the Bucs against the Steelers. I just want to ask everybody really quick, for who is this a bigger game? The Buccaneers going up 3-0, potentially first time in a long time, or the Steelers going the first 3 games in the season possibly without a win?
Steelers is a has-been.
Ron, what's your?
Yeah, we need to
what's your take on
revamp
that?
all of the, we just need to revamp. You should have started this
like
season.
Roethlisberger,
it
he's
shoulda-
over.
Yeah, Roth should have been done last year, man.
He still showed flashes in the first couple of games.
The Bell situation is really
and
taking
everything.
over the team. And
Yeah, the
chemistry.
morale, all that chemistry. It's a
Well,
wrap,
now
yo.
Antonio Brown's
It's a wrap.
been messed
We
up
just
too.
we just gonna have fun.
All right, so it's a wrap. Y'all
It is what it is. But hey, we got an interesting week, so it is what it is.
Monday Night Football.
You guys with the bells.
The guy from Switzerland invented.
Yes, that's his.
Hey, real quick.
I haven't touched it once.
Yes.
Hey,
Now you got the cooties.
we found a twin for Mr. Al Big Al. I was just online right now. Guess who has the same cut,
Who?
same style,
Who?
same look?
Who?
Klay Thompson.
Oh,
Klay Thompson. That is hair
Custodian of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your health care. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.